I'm old enough to remember what very high inflation was like, said Jerome Powell yesterday. He chairs the mighty Federal Reserve, the US central bank. We're strongly committed, as a committee, said Powell, to not allowing this higher inflation to become entrenched. In America, inflation is now at 7.9%, with prices rising at their fastest rate since the early 1980s. That's why the Fed increased rates yesterday, in a bid to convince firms, financial markets and everyone else that the US authorities are determined to bear down on and contain inflation, even if that means slowing the economy down. Our own Bank of England today followed similar logic, raising its base interest rate by 0.25% to 0.75%. Now, that's still very low historically, but at a time when the economy is already slowing and any rise in borrowing costs does impose pain. But the bank's acting because UK inflation, as in the US, is also high and rising. Headline inflation here, the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, puts price rises at 5.5% during the year to January, well above the bank's 2% target. But broader inflation measures like the Retail Price Index, or RPIX, a measure the banks used to target, they're much higher, already above 7 or even 8%. The impact of this Russia-Ukraine conflict on energy and food prices means UK inflation, already at a 30-year high, is set to go up now even more. But making it more expensive to borrow in Britain won't increase Russian energy exports, easing spiralling oil and gas prices. High UK interest rates won't help a war-torn Ukraine to grow more crops to sell on global markets, keeping food prices low. So how will higher rates help the Bank of England fight inflation? Well, because if it's demonstrating that it understands if it kept rates low, stimulating borrowing and spending, that itself fuels price rises. So by raising rates, the bank is taking away part of that economic stimulus while making sure we earn a bit more on our savings, which many pensioners will welcome. This UK rate rise, the third in successive meetings, shows the bank is determined now to tackle inflation. But here's our on-the-money question today. How high will UK interest rates go?